little bit here about the trigger stick that I use a lot here. And first, let me show it to you here. This is the short Primus tripod stick. And what you're going to see here is I took 3 cords and sort of braided it like you would braid hair. And this goes around my neck, okay? Closed up like so, and it goes around my neck. And when it's around my neck, it'll hang down just a little bit past my kneecap. And I get it off when I need it. Now, they do make a device that holds this thing with a strap you could put it in. The only problem is you see a squirrel, you got to take that thing out of that. Okay, so you see what I've got there. 3, so it don't cut into my neck. I used it last year with just one of them cords right there, yelling. It started cutting into my neck. Okay, now, one gentleman's done asked about what stick, I'm using. Well, that's the stick, the short one. This is the tall one, okay? Now, I'm going to sit down on the ground here, okay? Tilt my head back. You see this stick here? Okay, now the legs on this are let out, but now she's down as low as she goes, right there. So, squirrels up in trees slightly to land that's rising when you're below the squirrel, which I hunt a lot of because I can see better. I use the landscape behind the squirrel to see the movement. This can be too high, okay? You see that there, but you turn this here and it goes lower, okay? So now I'm down lower. See that right there? See how low I am? Okay. So if I'm shooting downhill and I'm above the squirrel, this works better here, okay? Now, one thing you're going to run into with a tall stick, if you try one, now you're not going to use it sitting on the ground. I can tell you that right now, okay? Not and use the V on it. You might shoot off the side of it, okay? You might shoot off the side of it. Now, one nice thing about these sticks, the uneven ground, the way these legs work, you'll get pretty level, where you get that old rifle in there and go to work. Now, sometimes I'll shoot off the side of one of these sticks. If those squirrels, if I don't think he's going to give me time to get him lined up good. Now, see the wing spread on this stick here versus this stick here, let all the way down. See the wing spread at the bottom of the legs. That's important. And also the angle. When you get on steep ground, this stick will actually work when you let the legs out like so. It will work. Trust me, I've used it. Y'all can watch some of my videos. I'm in some rough ground hunting squirrels at times, boys. Okay, steep ground. This stick here, if you try, now it lets out like that one, but here's the problem you run into. See the angle of this leg? Well, if it's real steep ground, it won't bite into the heel, so it won't sit still on you. Plus, this stick right here, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take this short stick, and when I sit down, I'll sit down close to a tree, okay? I'll have a tree like over here and have this stick over here. Well, I can get pretty close to a tree and use this stick. This stick here being as wide as it is, see, it's offsetting you. You can't get as close to a tree. So see, I'll have this set up like so. I'll have me a backup rest over here, a tree, okay? So I'll have more angular direction where I can plug a squirrel or a coyote. Now, this is a better stick for a coyote. Now, if you don't want to get your butt wet when it's wet, I guess, and you're one of these people that hunts over a feeder, which that ain't me, boys. Y'all see my videos. I'm out in the wild, okay? Hickory, oak, you name it. You're sitting in a chair, the control setting, this would be okay, okay? If you can't walk very far, somebody in a wheelchair, this is the better choice here, this tall one. Now, do they make one that's more in the middle? I don't know. Maybe they do, but it wouldn't be as good as this one for my application. Leaves off squirrel hunting, okay? Now, can a squirrel get so high in a tree that you can't reach him with this stick? Now, I'm going to let this stick up here, See there, now she's maxed out right there. All right. If you don't get too close to the squirrel, you'll probably be fine. If you get real close to one, you could get into trouble, okay? But now I have put my hand up here and jacked this thing up a little higher, okay? But when I go hunting, I take this short stick you're looking at here I'm playing with, all right? And this one here is about 5 inches tall. I take this one. But this helps me get through ravines, over fences, and I can make steeper shots with this, and I can lean this up against a tree. It helps me get squirrels through fences. There's a lot of cross fences on a lot of land that I hunt on that I have permission. I can get squirrels across fences with this. Reach factor's good with this stick. Knock them in the back of the head with it sometimes, but I take this. This is on my back, and I got a bag, and then I got that rifle. So I'm using all this, and I'm running that camera, okay? Now, I don't get to show every squirrel. It's situational. If I think the squirrel's going to give me a chance to show him to you, I'll try to show him to you. Sometimes I had a fox squirrel this morning. I didn't think he would sit where he was long enough. I could have showed him to you, but I probably wouldn't have got to shoot at him, and I killed him. All right? This one here is the real deal, and then you put your rope around it here like I did. That works pretty good. Okay? I like it. I left this here too long intentionally because I wanted to see the length. Since I just did this to see how this works, I can cut this off down here. I wanted to try this stick a few times and leave some slack here. So I'll probably cut this on off here in a little while. But now that rope sits in that groove right there. That's paracord, okay? It sits in that groove there pretty good. Of course, I had to join these three up here and tie them off in a notch, and I still have this is still functional, okay? Now, make sure when you use one of these, you have this in a lock position. I lost a head on one of these, a bipod stick not too long ago. I think it was year before last. All right. A HMR 17 rifle and that Mach 2 with this stick right here, boys, would be one cracking setup for squirrels with leaves off. You can take binoculars with you. I can see a long ways and see a squirrel in the woods. But I do take binoculars sometimes. I will. And a laser rangefinder. You probably wouldn't need much of a laser rangefinder with a HMR. I could probably get away without using one with that rifle. But not that HM2. I'd need to see a squirrel out there at 125 to know he's that far. Just that old scope. Just a little. This is going to be a good year, looks like, for me, if I get to keep hunting. Considering how these woods are around here, I don't get to hunt where I used to hunt. The timber's been cut. I'm hunting in really substandard places to what used to be 20 and 30 years ago. All right? So, yeah, the short one is the one you want. Predator hunting, this will help you, too. With an old smaller caliber, or a centerfire 223, 22, 250. I hope you enjoyed.